Welcome to Rock Around the Clock, Google Stadia news and gameplay live at the same time every day, Monday to Friday. Every day we check out the latest Stadia news across the internet live, closing with Stadia gameplay and chat with your host Rock and occasional guests. But first, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss out on the latest Stadia news. If you'd like to support my content, please consider joining Team Rock by hitting the join button on this page. Yes! Hello! Hello, you lovely clocky people. It's Thursday. One more day. Now, those of you on the Pacific side of the US, of course, your day's just beginning. But here's the good news. It's okay. We've kept it warm for you. We've let nothing nasty happen. You're going to be all good. For those of you on the East Coast, well, you've had a morning, you're about to tuck into your lunch, contemplate the coming hours. It gets okay. It's all right. It's not bad at all. For those of you here at my time of the day, we've got a few more hours, but we're only that far away from Friday. That can't be bad, can it, guys? Honestly? And don't forget, tomorrow's a massive day, that $140 giveaway on this show, this time, tomorrow. And I have to say that after announcing on Tuesday on the Stadia Rokk Show that nobody had entered, it has exploded. So I'm not even sure that my old faithful Wheel of Fortune is going to be good enough for the job. Am I going to pay respects to the Queen? I've been doing it all week, my friend. My respect will be that I won't be streaming. Hi, by the way, Jeff, good to see you. You mentioned earlier, later in the news, my friend. I won't be streaming on Monday, and I will, of course, I am fully respectful for the institution that is the royal family. So, and I'm looking forward to King Charles III as well. If he is anything like the younger version of himself was, who was immensely a leader within the environmental movement and for the betterment of people less fortunate than himself, which in the same vein actually as Prince Albert was with Queen Victoria. So if we get somebody like that as a king, I actually think it could be really good for the world because, the royal family carries a lot of clout. What's going on here, guys? Why are your beautiful messages being shrunk? Let's speed that up. It's Thursday. It's various times of the day, as you know, as we've all been through. Luckily, today I've got some news, guys. Yesterday was a bit sad. We didn't have much, but we did get to play Slaycation, which was fun. William's just finished a computer appointment for a little old lady in a community. Oh, bless. Hopefully I've got your messages back inside and they're not going to get chopped off now, so sorry about that. Let me try Williams again, see what happens. No, he's still being chopped off. Poor old William, that's not what you want, my friend, is it? It'll be better when we get to the other side, when we get down to the other page, the news page, the laptop. That was what I was trying to think of. Anyway, you can fill in the blanks. It's all part of the fun. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for all of you popping in. It's great to see you all. We've got so many lovely folk. Starting at the very, very beginning of the chat to reflect that... sorry, it's got a weird message up from OBS. Reconnection successful. Oh, sorry if I dropped out there. I didn't look like I had. Yes, I added him to the list of members because it can be done it's live. As soon as you become a member, boom, fantastic stuff, hey? All cool. Thank you, Kumnar. We got John in the house as well. Great to see you, John, my buddy. Of course, Raymond, the lovely, lovely Ray, who is my very dear co-host as well on Stadia Rokk Show, of course. Nerds World, who's streaming as the Rokk Show is live. Well, there you go. 2 bites of YouTube for 1 cherry, I think. Something like that in there. Obi Rose Kenobi. Obi Earloby, as I christened him yesterday. I thought it was just a little cheeky, but it was quite funny. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much. We're about to enter the Rock Zone. I still love the Outer Limits and the zone, which I've forgotten the name of. What was it called? The something zone, wasn't it? Anyway, I used to love Outer Limits. That was my favourite. There were two around the same time, weren't there? Sort of late 60s, early 70s, the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone. I knew I'd get there in the end. I loved them both, but I felt like the Outer Limits had slightly cleverer scripts than the Twilight Zone. But of course, they went on to make the Tower of Terror. I think that was based on the Twilight Zone, wasn't it? And they really cunningly put together clips from an episode that I don't think ever actually existed, which was brilliant. I mean, this is a few years ago now. And who else have we got in the wonderful wide world of the chat? There's our good friend Kumna. Jeff's in, of course. Jeff, good to see you, my friend, as always. I hope you've been paying respects. Joe, Cloud Gaming Dad, good to see you, Joe. I'm hoping to get Joe onto Stadia Rokk Show this coming Tuesday. Watch out for that. I need to get back to you on that one, Joe. That will be really cool. We have Humble in the house. Thank you, Obi. I've got the chat on automatic here. Sorry, it'll just keep playing through, but I'm reading through them anyway. Already exist. Howdy to you, my friend. Good to see you. Clive, is this the news bit? Yes. We are now going to have some actual news, Clive, and you may even feature there yourself, my friend. I try to get everybody in if I can. Primo, I think Primo's in my news as well. Aloha, my friend. Oh, he comes from the beautiful islands of Hawaii. Well, actually, he comes from Mexico, but he lives on the beautiful islands of Hawaii. Gorgeous country. Obi says, Obi ill, Obi, hey, love that. I know, it's cool, isn't it? The Twilight Zone. And David Wilson. I'm slightly behind on the chat. Sorry, guys. Cloudy. Howdy, cloudy to you, my friend. I hope you're keeping well. It's almost to the weekend, and I can assure you, Stadia to one side, this has been a challenging week for me behind the scenes, so I want to get there as quick as you guys as well. Shall we whip over to the laptop of love? I've got to come up with a name for it, fellas. What can I come up with? It's got to be something with iteration, you see. The laptop, it's got to be le, or maybe it could be the, let me think, Stadia screen. That's boring, isn't it? It wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good one at all. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for that. It's my little Twitter account. I banged through 2,000 yesterday. That didn't sound right, did it? I got through 2,000 followers yesterday, which I was really chuffed about. And this channel's been doing extremely well as well. All thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. Genuinely, you lovely people. Right. Already exist. He's laughing, but I don't know what about. I'm a bit behind. Oh, banging through 2,000. Yes. Naughty Rock. Let's go over to the news laptop. Boing. Oh, I forgot to put the incidental music on. Hang on, guys. We like a little bit of background noise, don't we? Let me see. Spotify. Bring up your copyright music for the wonderful chat, please. That's a nice little ballady one, isn't it? We need that with this, because this is the chill and chat zone, you see. The chill and chat zone. Just say to the laptop, says Primo. Yeah, I know, mate, but if you watch me tomorrow, I'm on I'm on Renaissance Men podcast, which is, if you guys have never seen it, please do pop over. We'll be promoting it through the day. I'm co-hosting it with Stuart, who's a great guy, and a member, a Team Rock member. And I love that show because they kind of touch on gaming, but really it's a kind of a man cave of a show. You know, they do Marvel, they do movie trailers, they do, humour, they do Lego, they do wrestling and sports. It's that kind of a show, which it's not my normal domain, so I should be having some fun, I'm sure of it. But yeah, pop over and see us. But we'll definitely, my point, was that he has these brilliant intro sections with these amazing graphics and stuff. So, I kind of feel like I should have something like that in our world as well. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. It's pretty loud for me, so I'm just going to turn it down a bit. No, I tell you what, you can't hear it at all, because I have mute on. Here it goes. There it is. Not too loud at all. It's lovely. It's lovely. And all you people that were going to say, yeah, it's lovely music, Rock, you were wrong. To the Cloudmobile. Oh, yes. I knew, David. That's a great one, David. Love it, mate. Love it. So anyway, as you can see, we're over here. In fact, we are over at the community blog, because sometimes on a Thursday they do a little refresh with some information, so I just like to pop in. However, it has to be said that they tend to do it just after we finish the show. So nothing to report there, I'm afraid, nothing at all, except of course some great games. And we played Slaycation yesterday, didn't we? We had fun playing in the sleigh, slaying stuff. So let's zip ourselves over. What's everyone playing today, says David. Yeah, good question, my friend. I had a little crack at Rogue Book, actually. Here, over at Stadia Source, we don't get to see much from these guys these days. So they're covering this, as is Stadia Dosage. These guys credit Stefan, who I believe is Stadia Boink, and Stadia Dosage credit Clive, who's in the chat. And the story is that it now looks as if Stadia's rolling out 1440p dedicated resolution for browsers at least. So you won't find this as yet on your Chromecasts or your Android apps, although almost certainly it will be coming to Android apps, because you remember the other day there was an APK breakdown, and one of the things they found was this whole 1440 thing. Now, whether that comes to the Google TV / Chromecast app, I don't know. They don't seem to update that as regularly as they do the mobile apps and the browser, unfortunately. I wish they would, I really do. I think, it's kind of ripe for a makeover now. If you've been there from the beginning and you've got all those hundreds of pro games, as well as ones you've bought and your free-to-plays and stuff, it's scroll heaven to get from one end to the other and try and find one of those games that you played many, many months ago. So yeah, they kind of do need that, really. But it'll come, I'm sure. Anyway, so I thought, and there was Stefan's tweet, and I know Clive did a tweet as well. We'll cover Clive's off in the bookmarks later. So I thought I'd have a little looky-poos over at my settings. Here we are, folks. And the performance is where you need to go. So you click on your mate. Don't know why it's logged me out and gone to a different account. Hang on, let me choose this one. This is the one that I have my pro account with. There we go. So if you go to your settings, which is under your icon, your avatar, just there, Stadia settings. This is in a browser. And you click on performance, what you will see eventually is an option for 1440. Now, I'm not seeing it, and it did say in the article they were rolling it out. So, assume I haven't been rolled out to yet. Now, this isn't going to mean that you haven't been able to play on a 1440 monitor up until now, because I do. Most of the browser-based gaming that I do in Stadia is on my 1440, which is the one that we're seeing here. So on that basis, it literally means that it will be optimized. If you have a 1440p monitor, I do, sir, it'll be optimized for that. It's interesting that we've seen a renewed interest in 1440p, because there was also, not that it's relevant here, but it kind of is, there was an update recently to the PlayStation, the PS5 OS, which also brought out 1440 as a dedicated resolution for those monitors that are 1440. Personally, I prefer 1440 to 4K. I think it's a sweet spot between 1080 and 4K. The beauty of it is, of course, that it requires less processing for your PC, so you don't have to have a 3080 or a 3090 or a 3080 Ti card or what have you, and you don't need a really expensive 4K monitor. And the 1440s come in some big sizes, and they look great. And I personally think if you're playing on a TV as well with 1440, honestly, you won't see a difference. You really won't. You've got to get up with a magnifying glass to see the detail in 4K anyway. And even streaming in 1080 with a really crisp and uncompressed signal with a decent bit rate looks great as well. Go and have a look at my good friend VetCloud Gaming's recent streaming, and I even did one yesterday myself at 1080p via a free streaming application called Prism, which appears to do something around compression, which just puts a crisper image out there. So we've got the old 1440, which I'm sure we'll get eventually. I'm really keen actually to see what a difference it makes to this monitor, which, as I say, is 1440 versus everything else. Now, of course, as well, if you are using, as we know in the States, for example, you guys are still, a lot of you are still subject to data caps, both at home as well as when you're out with your mobiles. So, they will tell you, as it says in the article, that 1440 is still, I don't know what it is, 14 to 16 gig an hour or something of data. So it's worth bearing all that in mind. In the UK, and I think most of Europe, we're really lucky. We don't have our domestic bandwidth. I don't know why you guys are getting this rubbish chat thing. I really want to... I thought I'd fix this yesterday. It's a most struggling perception. Let me put this down to something else. Probably... I use, as I've said it to you guys before, I use the beta version of an update to this guy's social pod plugin for Chrome. He's a genius, this fella. And because of that, of course, because he'd stopped supporting the original one, which I know Clive uses as well. He may even use this one. But it does tend to have the old little issues from time to time. Doesn't help how I type paragraphs, Rock. What have you said, David? Rock, 1080. I'm still, I see, looking fine here. Why, Delilah? Are you guys getting that over there? Is bizarre to me. Let me come out of there. I'm quite keen to fix this. It's not fair on you guys putting all your lovely messages in. Do. Let me put that up to its max height and see if that helps. Nope, still getting it cut off. Most weird. Plus, OBS 28's the latest version, doing some really weird stuff at the moment. Whoops. On 4K monitors, which is not good. So, apologies, guys, but it is what it is. Keep your messages to one sentence and we'll be good. I'll read what he said anyway. 1080 being the current standard and 4K being the current flagship only makes sense to move to 1440. Yeah, good point, David. It was never as trendy, but as you say, it's a lot more reasonable. Yeah, you know what, David? I look at it like the Goldilocks of resolution. So not too hot, not too cold, just right. I think, it's like you say, it's not the low end, but equally it's a really good quality. So what the heck? I can see what the problem is with the chat, by the way. I'm not going to try fixing it now because we'll be here forever and we've still got some news to go through. Jeff, I would, but I prefer to vet. This will be my first time playing Far Cry, says Obi. I just think this one's going to be epic. I've missed some of the chat there, sorry guys. I'm just going to turn down the music for me. It's not too loud for you, but it's that way for me. Do. Actually, this is highly unprofessional of you, Rock. I know. I'm sorry. Let's show you the music's the same one you're hearing. Anyway, that was that one. Good stuff. I think it's the Goldilocks, and in many ways, I would really love to see. There's all the other cloud platform guys right now are pushing out at 1080. People like Boosteroid are saying they're going to upgrade to 4K. GFN is out there with 4K. Stadia have been doing 4K since day one, but actually 1440 at 120, personally, if the whole kind of FOMO aspect of the consumer side of people that game, if we can get over the fact that 4K really is only great if the monitor's right up against your face, is probably 80 inches in size, and then you're going to get to see the detail. But 1440 works at 28 inches, 42 inches, 55 inches, and looks just as good at a distance. Then you can push through a much lower compression, a higher bit rate, and a higher frame per second, or a hertz. So I would rather have 120 1440 any day of the week than 4K 60. Just saying. And it feels like that's kind of where we're going maybe at the moment. I hope so. That would be something awesome, wouldn't it? Now then, let's get rid of the community blog. We've done the 1440 thing. We've done my settings. We'll have another look. Stadia source, we're covering that one off. Let's go to, I don't think they have anything more. We'll go to Stadia dosage. And Eddie Rick has put a little article together. The Stadia summer sale. Yes. Brilliant sale as well. Some decent prices in here. So rather than go to the sale and then spend ages looking through it, they very, very nice and kindly put it all into a table for us. So what do we got here? We have got Kronos, 55. Look at the discounts down here, guys. This City Skylines Airports, which is an add-on, it's probably one of the lowest of the discounts, but we've got 55s, 50, average is 50. The median here is 50. I've got a 33. Again, City Skylines. I'm sorry about this. I've got an itch. I've got hair on my nose. I haven't been sniffing coke or anything. It's itching like anything. There goes a 75%. But that's also a claim with Pro. That's the Stadia edition of Skylines. So, of course, that was a Pro version. Now, look at this. From 35 UK down to 874. Hey, Dre. How are you, buddy? Thanks for popping in, my friend. Great to see you. So very, very, very quickly, Kronos, good game. That was a Pro, I believe. That's now down to 1350, or we're not going to run through all of these, just the ones that are interesting. Loads of City Skylines stuff, which is interesting. I believe there's an issue with the game as well, which hopefully they're going to fix soon, but I may be giving you false information. I wouldn't want to do that. Doom, £3.74. Wowzer. Doom 64, £1.59. If you haven't got it, come on, what's wrong with you for less than the price of a Starbucks cheap coffee? Doom Eternal, the campaign, that's 67%. In deluxe editions, only a few quid or bucks more. Loads of Doom stuff going on, that's good. Gods Will Fall, Valiant Edition, £6.50 if you've got the Pro. Hitman, Game of the Year Edition, £3.74. Wowzer. Oh, wowzer. Hitman 2, Hitman 3. Sorry about the chat, guys. Hope you can stick with it. There you go. How are you doing, Doc? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining. Kona, £2.59 for your Pro, £12.99 for your non-Pro membership. Metro Redux, 2033, £3.99. Loved the game. I know Clive loved it as well. An amazing ending. Or is that Exodus? I forget which. Either way, they're both discounted. They're all great games, those Metro Exodus games. And so on, outward. Rage is on sale. Buy it, folks. That is rarely on sale. This is one of my favourite games on Stadia. I've streamed it from time to time. When I've streamed it, people have gone, what's this? It looks amazing. It was a Pro game very early on. I think I had actually bought it anyway because I had played it but not completed it on PlayStation, PS3 or 4, I forget now. So when it came up, I thought, right, I'm buying it. I paid whatever it was probably more than $34.99 then. And I have loved this game ever since. It's a first-person shooter. It's kind of an RPG. It's lots of progression in the kind of Borderlands way, without the stupid humor and the cringing robot. Great graphics. Even now, it's great graphics. Beautiful story. Amazing perks, amazing weapons, amazing vehicles. Honestly, I'm not joking. At that price, what, $10? It's a steal. I don't think it's been on sale for a long time at that price. Oh, it's never been Pro. Okay, Kumnar. I wasn't 100% sure, my friend. And to be fair, it would probably say Pro price if it was. So yeah, I'll take that on board. I know I definitely bought it anyway. I just assumed that it had been a Pro. So yeah, thank you for that. Relicta, that's another good game. Relicta, £3.19. That's a stupid price. Saints Row the Third, look at that. That's dropped down, half price. It really is a massive summer sale, isn't it? Look at this. Amazing. Wolfenstein Youngblood came in for a lot of criticism when it launched, but it is a great game. I absolutely love it. Windbound, many people's favourites, £7.49. That's a 70% drop. Absolutely ridiculous. They say, we personally recommend checking out all the Cities Skyline if you haven't already. It's brilliant for those of you wanting your fix for Cities simulation. Hitman 1, 2 and 3, probably the best of the bunch. At only $3.74. Yeah, I mean, these are daft prices. Great stuff there, guys. I love it. And I don't know how those prices compare to other platforms, but the key thing is their Stadia. They are Stadia discounts. Hit that thumbs up for that. Thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate that, my friend. Pedder, good to see you, dude. Hope you're keeping well, my man. Hope your running is paying off. I've gone through my objective with my weight loss. So I've gone through there. I'm now about £4 lighter than that. I want to do 2 more pounds, and then I'm going to start exercising properly as well, so that I can gradually get back into reintroducing carbs and stuff back into my diet, but keep it off with daily exercise. So I'm feeling good. Feeling very good, actually. I'm as light as I've been in about 30 years, which can't be bad for the old ticker, can it? Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Congrats. And congrats to you as well. I love to see people taking care of themselves. And I know when you've got a condition like you've got, exercise and diet are supremely important. I keep telling my dad this. My dad's got diabetes. And he came over the other day to watch the rugby, actually, a cracking game, and we won. Our team won. And my daughter said, do you want to offer Nan, my mum, some banana cake that my wife had made? So I went and got her a nice slice of banana cake. Trust me, she doesn't need it either. I wish she'd lose a bit of weight. Sorry, mum. And she said, my dad's going, what about me? I said, you're not having any. You got diabetes, sunshine. Oh. And then he's like, oh, but I've got really good blood sugars. I said, yeah, and you can't walk and your teeth are falling out. Ain't happening, mate. Anyway, we're going to move on. I think that's it for our good friends at Stadia Source and Stadia Dosage. We've done the 1440. We've done the summer sale. Jack, by the way, has written an interesting article which sparked a lot of debate, which I noticed this morning was still raging. I've kept out of it, about the state of Stadia and all the stats and stuff. He does a good account of himself. I think there's some stuff in there that may need wider explanation. So I'm hoping that Jack will maybe do a show on Stadia Dosage and go through this in more detail. I know he does do stuff with M2K, so hopefully that'll happen and try and quell some of this discussion that's going on out there. Oh, Pedder's raising money for Diabetes UK through October, guys. Make sure that you keep an eye out for those streams. I'll definitely be dropping something in your pot for that, my friend. No questions asked. That's awesome. Will you be doing that as part of the Caring in the Community as well with John? I know there's a weekend in October. I know I'm doing it. So yeah, it'd be great if you are as well. I'm sure you are. No questions. Right. No Immortals, says Gamer Mink. I may be back a bit here, guys, on the chat. I beg your pardon. Windbound sounds like a nickname for a mother-in-law. I tell you what, I can never knock my mother-in-law. For all the mother-in-law jokes in the world, she's virtually a house builder. She does most of my DIY around the place. She's like a superhero without the flipping mask and the cape. I only have to say, can you do this, Jude? And she's in. And then in return, I do all of her tech fixes and all that stuff. The same as you do, William, as well. Oh, let's crack on. Now, the next couple of things it is positive, but I'm going to just touch on one of the dangers in our community around negativity, I think. So it's kind of newsworthy where we've been this week. I'm going to start with 9 to 5. Now, as you guys know, all you regular viewers, I included 9 to 5 Google in our circuit of news sites a little while ago, and I pop them up in every show and we go and have a look and see what they've covered. And most of the time they've got some interesting stuff. Sometimes they do, and they're kind of the more positive end in the main. But I've just noticed the last few days. So the first thing is they're talking about Do you remember we covered Samsung were bringing out this ridiculous 55-inch monitor that's kind of curved and you can, like you can see in this picture, you can bend it one way. But the key thing is it comes with cloud services like Stadia, as it says, built into its kind of gaming hub. Brilliant stuff. It's called the Odyssey Arc. And there's an article on it, and they've basically just updated it. The update is that it's officially arrived. You can pre-order it now. Bear in mind, guys, the time to buy a TV, apart from your, Black Fridays and all that stuff, is now if you want the discount, because October's when typically the market brings out the new sets. And a lot of times there's no massive difference. Not that us mere mortals would notice, let's put it that way. So I'm really keen to upgrade my C8, my LG. So I'm in two minds whether to get the C1 now or wait until October, see what they bring out. So, but if you're looking for deals, now, September through to October is a good time, because that's when the new sets will be coming out. But if we move on, we now start to get stuff like Google Stadia is drowning in a sea of ambiguity. It's an interesting article talking about the lack of AAAs. It's Ben Schoon, who is actually on Twitter a lot and is currently in this whole debate with Tom and Big Steve and others about Jack's article. Won't go there. That's up to them. They can debate that all they want. It's got quite technical. The debate's got a little bit, in times, philosophical. But nonetheless, here's the point I want to make. So I'm not having a dig at 9 to 5 at all, because as I've just said, these guys are featured every day as one of the sources for news. I promote them every day. You guys get to see them. You get to see the URLs. And I don't read through all their articles. I advise you to go and check them out. So just want to get that straight. But Google Stadia is drowning in the sea of ambiguity. Okay, well, there's an article in there. It's a debatable point. Assassin's Creed Mirage will not be coming to Stadia. Okay, well, that was a news item. They weren't the only one to cover it. That's fair enough. But here's my point, really. We'll leave them because I don't want to pick on them. They're not alone in this. This is my point, guys. Let's go over to Google. Now, if you do a search on Stadia on Google right now, you get people also ask. You get your links through to Stadia, which is good because they're doing their job. OnePlus pops up out of interest. There's obviously a deal going on at the moment with their phones, I assume. But then we have the people also ask bit. Why is Stadia shutting down? Does Google Stadia still exist? Let me zoom in on this because you guys are getting to see tiny amounts of this. Is Google cancelling Stadia? Is Stadia no longer free? Where have these questions come from? I tell you where they've come from. Google is just taking averages. It's looking around all of the questions in Quora and forums and Reddit and community blogs and Twitter. And it's questions with question marks. But this is content that Google is picking it up. And why? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at news, shall we? Comment, Google Stadia is drowning in a sea of ambiguity. 9 to 5, first result. It's a big hitter, 9 to 5. Assassin's Creed Mirage not coming to Stadia. The problem with Google Stadia, according to cloud developer, the next Assassin's Creed isn't coming to Stadia. It may be time to panic. And don't forget, a lot of these articles have comments at the end of them where people will say, oh yeah, is it dead? Is it dead yet? Is it dead yet, Dad? Ubisoft decides to restrict Assassin's Creed to the one cloud service most people can't use. That's a valid point though, isn't it? And so on. The Stadia superfans still clocking thousands of hours on the service everyone thought was dead. It goes on. But you know what? We've got to put our hands up here, guys, because when we have the set 2 of the scale that we had since the Ubisoft forward the other day on Twitter, all we do is feed into this cycle. There are content creators who have popped up on Twitter with content in the community who, are, we would argue, part of the community. And they know that when there's this kind of a fight, it's an absolute free-for-all as far as views are concerned, and you see a cascade of negatively titled clickbaity articles and videos. Some of them end by saying, nah, it's all good. It's a great service, love it. But the headlines and the description, and sometimes the wording, which gets transcribed by YouTube and forms part of the search routine, is full of this stuff. And we feed it because we have this, this constant fear in the community. There's a game that's not been said it's coming to Stadia. Does that mean that Stadia is failing? Does that mean that we're not going to get any more AAAs? Are we going to have a problem forever? Is it dead? Has it died yet? Am I going to get my money back? Damn, I'm voting with my money. I'm going to XYZ instead. We self-fulfill this stuff. The truth is simple, and we've all covered it off. Right now, Mirage is not coming to Stadia on the basis that it's not being said it's coming to Stadia. Now, does that mean that if you have a Ubisoft Plus account on Stadia, you'll never be able to play it? Of course it doesn't. If you've got a Ubisoft Plus account, you can play the games anywhere, on your laptop or on your Xbox or your PlayStation to come, or your PC. But the key here is, can I buy it on Stadia? Well, on launch, probably not. Will it come to Stadia? I'm still very hopeful. I don't know any more than you do. Well, maybe I've got some... Maybe. But right now, as Clive has said numerous times, we have to work on what we know. And what we know right now is that they've said it isn't coming. That's fine. But it's one game out of a massive library of Ubisoft games, including games that they have said are coming, that they're not doing much. I mean, what was one game that didn't feature on Saturday, but we know is going to be massive? Avatar. Have they said Avatar's coming to Stadia? Yes. Has Stadia said Avatar is coming to Stadia? Yes. So let's not get our boots and our knickers and our tops in a twist. I actually went to Ubisoft Connect yesterday. I can't tell you why. I'm in a little bit of a beta test, but I went and had a look at Mirage, and it says there it's only available for PC. Well, the PC, it's only been built for PC then. And that means that, yes, it's easy to port to Luna. Yes, it means it's easy to port to GeForce Now. Maybe that was a decision they took for whatever reason. But it doesn't mean the sky is falling in. And my problem isn't, I don't want to go over the whole Mirage thing here. We've talked it out, guys. It's a done thing. It's dead. It is a dead parrot. The key thing here is that more that we air our concerns and our fears and we attack each other, and the more we go and watch these videos that have these clickbaity titles, largely fueled by our fear, the more those clickbaity title videos are produced, the more that feeds into the search system, the more these questions appear when you search for Stadia. And that just makes the whole job that bit harder for Google and for Stadia to convince the rest of the gaming world that it's the place to come and play. Which it is, guys, you know it. There's a ton of games. If they stop today, I don't give a stuff whether they hit 100 games by the end of the year. There's more games there now than I could play in 10 years. That's the way it works. And there are people, Jeff makes a solid point, Jeff, and I know you'd sort of half make it, but it does sadden me that you see people who for 9/10 of the year will be relatively calm, relatively positive towards Stadia. And then when there's this piranha-like feeding frenzy, they're in with their, I think it's coming to an end, and why hasn't, and let's talk about why this is an issue. And it just winds people up. That's all it does. It doesn't serve any purpose. It's not going to get the game to come if it was never scheduled to come. And we're never going to get every game that's out there. I've been playing 2 games recently that I purchased from Steam. They're never going to come to Stadia. Doesn't stop me loving Stadia. And it doesn't stop other games coming to Stadia that ultimately won't be on Steam either. You've just got to be sensible, guys. If you see that stuff going on, I'll tell you what the best thing is, and I'm not just saying this. If you've got any, I wonder if this is a thing, DM me. or DM John Scar, or DM Clive, because we're all very, very used to people DMing us and asking us these questions. It doesn't have to be a public thing, By all means, it's great to talk, and I am not advocating the death of free speech or the fact that we should discuss this stuff, but just making pointless the same question day in, day out, and then threatening to leave, or the fact that it's the end, or fueling this stuff, it's only going to have ultimately the opposite effect to the one that you really, really want it to have. I just wanted to get that out there, guys. I spoke at the beginning of the week about my thoughts on Mirage, and I'm absolutely happy to concede that when I talked then about the working off of the basis of probability, at that time I felt, looking at all the facts on offer, that it was probable that it would come. Since then, I'm not so sure, and I'm prepared to say probably it won't come, but I'm still hopeful that it will eventually. But the key thing is it does not mean the end of Stadia for the sake of the gent on the cross, without mentioning his name. Right, end of. Something we've never done before, but I thought would be a lovely thing to do. You guys probably or may not be aware that Stadia Dosage have this brilliant calendar of when the more regular Stadia-only content creators do their thing. I'm there every day, as you can see. It's a bit teeny-weeny. My apologies. I'll try and zoom in, but you may not get much of a better view. If you go to Stadia Dosage's website, let me just go back. Here we go. And I'll zoom out because you'll see this normally. Here we go. Click on Community and then click on Community Calendar. All right. And here it is in all of its glory. This will be whatever time zone you guys look at it in will be your time zone. Obviously, when we looked at mine just now, it was UK time, right? Chariot, good to see you, buddy. I am doing good. It's coming up to the end of the week. Woohoo! So, go and add this calendar. All you got to do, look, down the bottom here. Oh, hang on. I'll just lift this up so you can see it a bit better. Let me see if I can get it up. Get it up. There we go. All you got to do is click on that little plus there. Do you see it at the bottom? You're probably not seeing my cursor because it's probably switched off. But down there, up to the left of Archives, it says go to or add to Google Calendar. Click that, add it to your Google Calendar, and then you'll get reminders, notifications every day when one of us Stadia 100 guys are covering Stadia. And what more do you want for your money? So here, for example, sorry about the chat, guys. I'm so annoyed about that. I could fix it. I could have probably fixed it by now, but we're just as good. Let me have a quick look. So here we are, Rock Around the Clock. That's us, obviously. And then after that, we have Complete Unit Stadia streams. So there's a little link. So you can go off and visit the link there on Twitch. We have Primo. Primo's doing his thing. He's got something on every day, guys. So you can click and go and see Primo. Stadia Dosage, you've got a show, and there's the link to the actual show, which is awesome. That's the weekly podcast. MM2K and company bring so much energy to the conversation around Stadia. Another great source of Stadia news. It's pretty much the same for the rest of the week. Of course, back at the beginning of the week, on a Monday, we have the amazing Clive's Monday night chats, an absolute must-watch for all Stadia. I think Sundays, Stadia Sunday, I think is Ninja Guy X. Yes, excellent. Does a great show. Just started fairly recently. He's got an interview later. A play with the Outbreak, not Outbreak, I'll show you in a second, it's on the bookmarks. I'll try not to break 6 because it's young William. So there you go. Go and add that to your thing and make sure you don't miss out on any of us, and that'll be cool. Right, before we go to bookmarks, guys, I'm going to have a quick look at this. This is a latest video from Stadia. Sorry, Joe, I'm just going to... Hey, don't do that. Don't move your laptop, Rock. Where's me chats? Let me go. I just want to move the chat down so it's not covering. Chianti. I think it's that one. Oh, I'll wait till the next chat arrives. I think it's that one. No, that's the logo. We'll see. I'm going to put one up, and then I'll know exactly where it is. There it is. It's that one. There we go. That's where it should live, down there. Right. This is a Stadia video from yesterday. 15 hours ago, anyway. Skull and Bones. Talking about great games from Ubisoft coming to Stadia. This is
the end of the 17th century, when ruthless corporations ruled the seas with an iron fist.
Is even something to look more forward to.
They ignited a battle for global supremacy to dominate the world's most valuable trade routes.
It's not a rehash. I know there are some
flood of exotic goods
who want it to be more like
storm the West,
Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
creating new addictions and a violent race for control.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
and where there's blood
going on, but it's its own game.
Predators.
It's kind of RPG meets boats,
labelled as enemies of all
I
mankind.
think it looks amazing.
This new breed of pirates
looks awesome.
Show no
Ray says, "You sink my battleship." Yeah, we were saying on Stadia Rokk Show, when you actually install the game, it would just be battleships.
They created
E7,
secret trading networks and built their
C8,
pirate empires. But they were always on the edge of losing it all.
Wow. Do you know, for the longest time,
to the depths,
in the old navies of old, they refused to learn to swim, so they would drown fast, because there was no way they were going to survive in a battle 100 and 200 miles off the coast of Jamaica or whatever. So they just refused to learn to swim, so that, you know, they could blah, 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 and go down. I think, actually, isn't it kind of a natural thing? Like a dog? I think it would be for me. Anyway, that looks good. It wasn't much of a trailer, but it's good. Let's kick over quickly and finally the last 10 minutes to our bookmarks. Guys, there they are. Where are they? Where's me bookmarks? Bookmarks. There are me bookmarks. There they are. I was there. So yeah, I was mentioning just now, Ninja Guy, Maurice, is going to have a show today at 9 p.m. UK, which is, let me see, an hour after we go live with Rock Players. I don't know why I'm promoting it now that I've thought of that. Anyway, look, he's a Stadia. This is a Stadia show. Rock Players is just general cloud. So we have our audience, and you guys should really go and definitely support Maurice. So 9 p.m, and he is going to be playing some OB, Outbreak, Contagious Memories, which is coming, which is co-op on PC, to show you guys what it's all about. So like we did Slaycation yesterday, he's going to be doing the same thing with that one over there. So that one's later. Good own. Awesome. Complete Unit. Don't forget, he is streaming. It was later today, wasn't it? I think I remember seeing him in the list. Yeah, there you go. 7:30, so an hour and a half after this show. Complete Unit. He's on Twitch, so he's going to be streaming. Go and give the guy some support. That's Sean. Good morning, gamers. It's been a few days since I last did this, but just remember, all because one game isn't coming to Stadia doesn't mean it's the end of the platform, especially when there's a huge amount of games to come. Stadia will have my support for ages. I just wanted to reiterate that, because more positivity like that will make its way into the searches, and we'll see those stupid questions disappear, because they need to disappear. What we should be seeing in there is when's the day and date release for Avatar on Stadia? Can I use my 1440p monitor on Stadia? Can I use my PlayStation controller with my Stadia on Chromecast? Those are the questions we need to see, not is it dead yet? Maingren says, this is cool, when you find out how how locked Stadia is and smart messing around, you can power. And basically, he's said if you plug your Chromecast into your controller, it powers it. Look at this. He unplugs it. You watch. He'll unplug it. It's dead. So you don't even need a separate plug. So if you take your fully charged controller and your Chromecast to a friend's or your nan's house or whatever, you can plug the Chromecast into the HDMI port and then into your controller and power it. I didn't know you could do that. That's amazing. How cool is that? I thought that was worth showing. Stadia has Doom. You're absolutely right. Both of you guys are correct. Lee says, I really hope 1440 support on Stadia does not get limited to the web. Yeah, me too. I mean, yeah, again, 4K Stadia will work on a 1440p television or monitor, as will 1080p Stadia. But of course, 1440, it's the optimized pixels. It's only sending those optimized pixels to the 1440. Christopher Clay. Chris is the genius behind the Stadia plugin for Chrome, which I've forgotten, Advanced Stadia plugin or whatever it's called. Hang on, I will tell you exactly what it's called because I've got it running here. The music's getting a bit funky, fellas. Oh no, it's gone. I've reloaded it. Anyway, you know what it's called, don't you guys? Stadia Enhanced. Thank you, myself. Thank you, Zero. You were there just at the same time. Perfect. Thank you, my friend. So Chris says, worth pointing out that 1440 support Stadia is not new, is what we've been saying. Only that... why do you do this, Twitter? Where are we? Only the option to specifically select it. 1440p screens with up to 4K selected already received a 1440 stream in the past, and it was selectable via extensions. You could choose it with his extension, by the way. Forgot to say that. I should have said that earlier. Nothing about actual games would change, but it's nonetheless a positive improvement, I think, because it's optimized for 1440. Now, Jeff, I think Jeff's got one of the big breaking news of the day. There was some, let me see if I can find it. There was some, I may not have bookmarked it. Yeah, there was a couple of guys moaning that Wreckfest was not working, and worse than that, hadn't been updated for a long time. So Jeff reached out, bless him. Hope still in the chat, Jeff. Love you, man. Programming update. According to Bugbear support, Wreckfest on Stadia will be updated and the server's back online soon. And he actually says support from Bugbear. Hi, Jeff. Absolutely. I don't know if it's got Jeff's hi. So the server's issue is temporary. Absolutely. I'm afraid I don't have a specific ETA, exact time of arrival, but a patch is set to be launched. In addition to bringing it back online, it will also update the game to the latest version. So there will be new tournament events, bug fixes, and more. So there you go. They were probably just tweaking and tonkering around in the background and getting it fixed. That's great news. I know so many of you love Wreckfest, so that's something to look forward to. Just, there's all this kind of doom and gloom articles out there of all the games that have abandoned Stadia. Nobody's updating anymore. It's real woe and, oh, it's terrible. And then they're going like, no, guys, there's an update coming. Chill, baby. Chill, it's coming. Ronin Taizen, Mark, I finally took, I love seeing these. I always like to try and highlight them. I finally took the 3-month free trial offer from Stadia and tried playing some games on the LG TV with my PS4 controller. He says there's a slight input lag. Of course, a lot of it's also down to the fact that you're not using a Stadia controller, and it's going to depend on your Wi-Fi and other stuff. And none of us live in the optimum setup, let's be honest. There is a slight input lag, but it's doable, he says. But I'm impressed with the support for HDR, 4K, and even 5.1. Positive statements. These are the things that are getting picked up as well by Google. Here he goes, my good friend Primo. Primo, sorry, my friend, I put him in ahead of you. I actually got this off of Primo. I saw Primo retweet this one. Primo does some great stuff. This morning, before I was awake, he does a show where he also looks at sort of Stadia around the news. I think it's about 7:30 my time. It's not a massively long show, but he often finds some interesting content. So check my man out. And he's on every day. He streams something quality every day. Thorbjorn Kuhl. There are now nearly 300 games on Google Stadia. As a dad with a 7-month-old, I have time to play one for maybe a half an hour a day. And this is the point that I am constantly making. One of the things on Primo's show earlier, which I decided not to plagiarize. If you want to see the detail, go and watch his show. He goes through it in detail. But it was an article on Yahoo News about cloud gaming, the future of cloud gaming, and it was a very positive report about from a business perspective. But they said in this article that that cloud gaming is largely being fueled by casual gamers. And this is something I've been saying for the longest time, that Stadia or Google worked this out back in the day, and that's what they've been building towards with the platform. That's why there's this lovely mix. It's not trying to appeal to the Fortnite, the COD, the kind of the polarized one game, never buy any more kind of brigade. It's meant for people like that fella that Twitter's just got rid of. There we go, Thorbian. It's meant for people like him and us that aren't gaming all day long, and that we've only got so many hours in the day, and we know the games we love and they are on there, but we can fire them up in seconds. That's what it's aimed for. I think we've got to the end, my friends. It's been a pretty, look at that, 1 minute to the hour. Oh, wow, I'm on the money today. I am on the money. Let's go back here. Thank you so much as well for all your love. The show's getting a brilliant turnout every day. I really appreciate it. Stadia Rokk Show on Tuesday had the biggest audience we've ever had for a show that isn't about pro games or anything else. My Twitter's going through the roof. It's fantastic. And I will keep doing this as long as I possibly can, so we can spread some love and positivity about this platform that we're all so fond of and passionate for. You guys are amazing. I've been Rock, and we are clocking out. Yeah. If only I knew where my mouse had gone. There it is. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for the big wheel. I can tell you right now, there are getting on for 60 plus people in that competition for the $140. So fingers crossed if you've entered, and please join me in 2 hours time with Bjorn and Stephen when we have a look at the general cloud news over on my Rock Play channel in Rock Players. If you've got time, it'd be lovely to see you. You take care, guys. Rock out.